Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by MiloTree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Blogger Genius Podcast. I'm your host, Jillian Leslie. I'm a blogger and serial entrepreneur. I build businesses on the internet with my husband, David. We started with Catch My Party. We built our pop-up app called MiloTree to grow your social media followers and email subscribers. And now our new baby, MiloTreeCart, which is the easiest way for you bloggers and creators to sell digital products to your audience. So today was a very busy day because I led a workshop on how to write an ebook quickly using AI to help you. So I was demonstrating it with ChatGPT. Now, for all of you, please know that there are right ways of using AI and wrong ways of using AI. So in the workshop today, I went through all of that. Think of AI as your assistant, but don't let it do all the writing for you. Really, this is all about you putting yourself out there. However, it can give you ideas and really structure your thinking. And that's what we talked about today. And really, what I showed was from start to finish, how to come up with the idea, how to outline it, how to write it. And then it's all about how MiloTreeCart helps you with the rest. So we give you Canva templates to make your ebook look professional. You upload your ebook to our platform so that we can directly deliver it to your customers. We get you paid because we integrate with Stripe. We also offer free sales pages so you can have your sales page for your ebook up in about 10 minutes. We pride ourselves on two things: giving you the easiest platform to use to sell digital products. We built it especially for the non-techie and the beginner. We have complicated tech on our side so we can serve up ease for you. And two, a team of people ready to help you have success making money online. If you are listening to this and you think, this sounds interesting, I have an ebook in me or a paid workshop or a membership or some other digital download or coaching, head to MiloTreeCart.com because I have a feeling we are the solution for you. Buy it for our lifetime deal price, $349, own it forever. And of course, we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee because we only want you to keep it if you love it. So again, go to MiloTreeCart.com and check it out. If you have questions, reach out to me at Jillian@MiloTree.com. For today's episode, I have Kristy Yoder on the podcast. And she is the founder and CEO of Smart VAs, which is a virtual assistant agency. And she's the host of her own podcast called Master Delegator. Wait until you hear her story. She comes from the Philippines. She has built this enormous company, and she has great advice for how to outsource, especially the tasks you do not like. So if you're at that place in your business where you need outside help, but it just feels overwhelming to find it, hire it, know what to look for, this is the episode for you. So without further delay, here is my interview with Kristy Yoder. Kristy, welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast.
Hey, Jillian. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So you reached out to me and said, hey, I have a podcast. You have a podcast. Let's come on to each other's podcast. We'll do like a swap. So this is the first piece of that, you coming onto my podcast. And you have something really interesting to talk about that I think a lot of people in the audience are thinking about or not exactly knowing how to jump into. So would you share a little bit about how you got started and really what you do, what your service is?
Yeah, sure. Well, like what you said, my name is Kristy. I am here in Ohio right now, but I am originally from the Philippines. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I moved to the States just 3.5 years ago. And when I was still in the Philippines, I decided that I wanted to become a freelancer, not a virtual assistant, a freelancer. Because back then, during 2017, virtual assistants are not really that popular until the pandemic. And so I was a freelancer. I was doing a lot of stuff for my clients. I was doing admin tasks to social media, to email marketing, to website development. I considered myself a multi-skilled freelancer. I can just do everything, that a business owner would want me to do. And so when I moved to the States, given the fact that I am an extrovert, it was hard for me. It was hard for me to say no to my clients. It was hard for me to kind of reject them, because during that time, that was my mentality. When you say no to somebody, you're kind of like rejecting them. So when I moved to the States, I was able to expand my network of business owners and entrepreneurs, and my clients, they liked what I was providing for them. And so they kept on adding so many tasks to my plate, while at the same time I was acquiring new clients. So I got so stressed and overwhelmed, and that because I couldn't say no, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want them to feel rejected.
So
And
wait,
so
so
early
you're a
on,
pleaser. You're a pleaser.
I'm a people pleaser. Even until now, I am. That is just part of my personality. I feel like that is just gonna be like an ongoing struggle for me. But now I know how to say no. But after I say after I say no, I overthink. Like, I wonder how that person feels. So I overthink. But yeah. So going back, like, I couldn't just say no, and I was also thinking of losing those clients and losing those opportunities that have come knocking on my door, right? And so I thought of, why not hire a couple of my friends whom I know that are also freelancing, and so they were working for me part-time. And then when my business you know was rapidly growing during that time, I thought of hiring my first ever full-time virtual assistant, and I delegated the thing that I hated the most, or the thing that I
Okay.
hate the most, because I still hate it. I delegated the thing that I hate the most. And so when I hired her, within just 3 months, I was able to 10x my revenue. And so I was like, oh, if I keep adding more VAs to my team to work on the things that I don't like doing, or to work on my clients' projects, then I can 100x my revenue. And from 2019, since the beginning of me hiring virtual assistant up until now, we have helped more than 300 plus business owners, and we are now a team of 70 plus virtual assistants, and my revenue now is close to 7 figure. And I won't be able to be where I am at right now if I did not delegate. I started as a virtual assistant when I was still in the Philippines, and now that I'm here in the States, I'm the CEO of my business. I no longer do projects. I'm just overseeing my leaders, my managers, and giving them, casting out the vision that I have for the business. So that's how I started out.
That's amazing. I love that you had a problem, which is you got too busy. So you had to hire a VA, and then you got to kind of see it from the other side. And you then were able to understand it, probably like, oh, this is what this is like, and go through all the other side of it to understand it even more deeply. Like, I always think that building a business to solve a problem you're having is so much better than just an abstract problem you potentially see in the world.
Right. And now that I was able to solve my problem, I was able to solve other business owners' problem, because I went through the same problem that they are going through right now. And I am able to also help, global talents have more sustainable and consistent income, just by, hiring them and, making sure that my business runs profitably.
Okay, so here's a question. When you were in the Philippines, where did you advertise? Like, were you on Upwork, Fiverr, that kind of thing? Where were you attracting clients for your business?
It was very, very weird, because when I was still in the Philippines, I was very desperate to get my first few clients. And so I did not know anything about like effective or strategic marketing approach. So my first two clients, I got them from Instagram. Instagram wasn't that much popular back then in 2017. They were popular in terms of posting images, but for businesses, they didn't have videos during that time, or maybe they do, but it wasn't just very popular, and they didn't have reels during that time as compared to what we have today. And so I reach out to people, to businesses on Instagram, and I didn't even have a very fancy messaging. I look back, because it's still on my Instagram account. If I want to check out my messages that I sent to them, I I looked at it again and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cheesy. I said, hey, my name is Kristy. I'm from the Philippines. I'm a virtual assistant. I'm looking for clients, and these are the things that I can do for you. And they replied to my to my message on Instagram, and up to this date, I'm still in awe that they replied to my Instagram message, because if you do that today, people are gonna say, "Oh, you're rude." You don't
Or
even
not
know
rude.
me.
It feels spammy, or it feels like somehow there's a catch, or you're going to try
Yeah,
and take advantage or something like that. Like I would look at that
yeah,
skeptically today.
yeah, true. And so, of course, now I have changed our strategy for acquiring clients. We are heavily using LinkedIn to reach out to businesses, because LinkedIn is where most business owners hang out. And the strategy that we have there is to build relationship with business owners and make sure that we are providing value to them as compared to selling our services to them. Like I invite them to get on my podcast, and then when I interview them on the podcast, I get to know them, they get to know me, and we talk about something that we can collaborate on. So
Okay.
we also optimize our website. We are posting articles almost twice a week, and we make sure that they are optimized, that we are visible and on Google, and we have a lot of clients that are referring us as well to other businesses. So those three platforms are our
So wait, so
conversion generating.
it's your blog, your podcast, and LinkedIn, or are you still
LinkedIn.
doing okay.
LinkedIn,
Interesting.
yeah.
So you've
And
got
Google.
okay, so an SEO. So you've got
Yeah, SEO.
70 people. Are these predominantly women, and are they predominantly in the Philippines?
I'm not sure about if they are predominantly women. I have never really checked that data, but it's a mix of men and women, and a few of them are non-binary. And most of my team members are based out of the Philippines, but I have a few team members here in the States as well.
And how do you then train them to go, okay, here's social media, here's what it is, here's what the client is looking for? Like, do you set up trainings for your VAs?
Yeah. Of course, when I first hired my virtual assistant, my very first virtual assistant, I had to make sure that VA has the experience that and skills that I needed her to have in order to carry out the responsibilities that I'm going to delegate. So at first, I was very hesitant to hire, VAs who do not have experience, because it's hard to train somebody. But now that my business have grown and I have somebody who trains our VA, we have a development lead guy, and he's the one that acts as our training department, and he's also our subject matter expert. So whenever a new virtual assistant gets onboarded, our SME or our development training head, he's the one training them and making sure that they are up to date to whatever we're doing within the agency. And our SME is also the one who is providing support to our VAs whenever they don't know how to do something.
Got it. Now, here's a question. So let's say I find you on Google and you have these services, and I then go, oh, I need help. I need a VA. Do you put me with one VA and then I'm interacting with this person as my person? Or will I be spread out over a variety of VAs? Or what if I don't like this VA? Like, how do you manage it on your end?
That is a good question. So our unique value proposition is that we assign a team of virtual assistants for the price of one. So you're just paying for one package and then you get a team of virtual assistant. But of course, if you only need one virtual assistant, then we will assign you just one virtual assistant. But the thing is, we have to realize that not everything can be done by one virtual assistant. So depending on your need. So if you come to us and you say that, hey, I need help with I need somebody to write my blogs for me, I need somebody to do my social media graphics and captioning, I need somebody to edit my podcast for me. Those are three different skills. A social media manager may be able to write a blog for you, but it's not common. So that's why we provide a team of virtual assistants, because if you have a growing business, there are just too many moving parts. And if us business owners, we don't expect ourselves to do everything in our business, we shouldn't expect our VAs to do the same, right? And so we assign specialized tasks to different VAs, because we know that each virtual assistant have something that they are passionate about doing as well. And we want to make sure that they're enjoying what they are doing. And so you get a team of virtual assistants depending on your need. And then on top of that, we also assign a project leader. Because if we assign 3 virtual assistants to you as the business owner are going to have a hard time tracking all of those VAs, right? Managing those VAs and making sure that the tasks are done correctly and how much time are spent on each task, right? Sometimes us business owners were very meticulous and detailed when it comes to checking how much time did you spend here, because we are on a budget most of the time. And so we provide a project leader, which is kind of like a project manager that monitors your tasks for you, and that is at no extra charge. So we give that we assign a project manager for free, because we understand that a business owner can't monitor different tasks. It's just
totally
not
no
doable.
What it sounds like you are for like larger businesses. How much does this cost? Because I'm, let's say, a blogger and I'm wanting to grow my blog and I've got all these different things. Let's say I'm starting a podcast and I've got Instagram and I'm trying to do TikTok and I've got blog posts to write. So how would that be an option for somebody like me? Or is this for like a larger company? Like how much does something like this cost?
I mean, to me, I don't think it's really that expensive, given the fact that the economy is changing a lot, and with high inflation rate, you also have to keep up with it. If you are a business owner and we live in this time right now, you also have to make sure that your pricing keeps up with the inflation rate, or else you're not going to be profitable. And so to answer your question, we don't really focus on large businesses, but we focus on businesses who are ready to scale, meaning businesses who are willing to invest and who will, I don't know how to like word it properly, but who will do what it takes, to grow their business, who have the vision to grow their business, because at the beginning of my agency, we tried just helping anybody, and it's really hard to hire somebody or to work with someone who's not ready to scale, because they have a solopreneur mentality and they don't know how to collaborate with a team member. So we want to work for businesses who are ready to scale, regardless if they are a one-man business owner or 2 people in the business. But we charge them. So the investment that we charge them, it depends on your needs. So we have 3 different plans. We have 40 hours a month, we have 80 hours a month, and then we have 160 hours a month. And the pricing ranges between $15 to $20, depending on
per hour,
the plan. Yeah, per hour for a team of virtual assistants.
Right. That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, if you sign up for our 40-hour plan, you get a team of virtual assistants. If you need a podcast manager, if you need a social media manager, if you need a writer, if you need a website developer, then we'll allocate those 40 hours to those people. And then we'll let you know, hey, you know what? I think we need you to upgrade to the next plan, because it's just
we
not
need more
doable.
time.
You're running out. It's not just sustainable. It's impossible to work on 4 different tasks when you only have 40 hours, available.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share my own experience because I feel this connection to you in that I have right now 3 Filipinas working for me.
It's the reality right now. Almost everyone now is employed remotely, so there's really competition out there. And the reason why I'm hiring people, from the Philippines, and soon actually we're gonna hire people from Dominican Republic and Venezuela. The reason why I'm helping out those people, because they have limited opportunities. I know how it feels like living in a third world country, and that's why I have such great desire to help out those people with limited opportunities. And I don't want to stop by just helping people in the Philippines. That's why I'm expanding my team, and we are going to try to hire people in Venezuela and Dominican Republic, because those people deserve better as well.
I talk a lot about selling digital products and services as a way to turn on a new income stream. But people say to me, yeah, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what kind of product to create. No problem. I have a digital product personality quiz based on who you are. It will tell you what kind of product to start with. So to get this, go to MiloTree.com/quiz. It's fun, takes 2 minutes. I've got some other really powerful resources in there. So again, go to MiloTree.com/quiz, and hopefully this will light that little fire under you to start creating digital products today. And now back to the show. So let's say, though, I am a blogger and I am a one-woman show. And I'm thinking I keep hearing I should outsource, right? And there are those tasks that I hate in my business, but I have to do them over and over again. And I always say to people, look for those tasks, because if those tasks are keeping you stuck, where you wake up in the morning going, fuck, I cursed, saying, I hate this, and it's keeping you from moving forward in your business. This is a really good sign, ding, 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 that you need to take this seriously and start thinking about outsourcing. That's like the first thing. The second is you're running out of time and your business is growing and you need to outsource and let go of a little bit of control. So let's talk about this. I'm thinking about this, but I'm scared. And I mentioned this before we pressed record. I'm scared because I don't want to make the wrong choice. I don't want to hire the wrong person. I'm a nice person. God forbid it doesn't work out. Like, I don't want to deal with, how do I let this person go? Or how do I give them tasks? Or it just feels like a lot of mental load. And I'd rather just struggle along in my business. Talk to me about how I should think about this and why hiring out for tasks makes more sense than I even know.
That is such a good question.
So to make this concrete, let's say I hate posting on Instagram, right? Or coming up with what to post, or who knows, like my Instagram just feels like a nightmare. And I want to hire this out. How do you recommend I think about that? How do I break it down? And what should I look for? And let's assume I'm not starting with a company like yours. I just want to hire one VA to help me with Instagram. What do I look for? What do I think about?
Well, you have to make sure that you are ready. I think most of the time when we hire a VA, we think that, oh, this VA should have this, should have that. You also need to ask the same question to yourself. Oh, before I hire a VA, I should have this, I should have that. So first, if you don't like doing your social media posts, you have to make sure that you have a step-by-step guide on how you want your social media to run, or your social media posts to look like. So get a piece of paper and then write down the step-by-step on how you want your social media posts, to look like. And then once you have it lined out or listed down, then create a job description for your VA. based on those things that you have just outlined, because you will not know what to look for in a VA if you don't even know what exactly you need, right? So when you have those tasks, you create a job description based on those tasks. And then when you have the job description, in your job description, you should also put in there how much are you going to pay your VA. How much is your budget, so that you know what you can afford and you cannot afford. Because that's very important when it comes to interviewing VAs, because you're going to ask them, so how much is your expected salary? How much do you charge? And write also down, including in the job description, what time do you want your VA to work for you? Like, because we can't expect them to work 24 hours a day for us when we're only paying them 10 hours a month, right? So write down your expectations, and where are you going to communicate with your VA? Are you going to communicate with them through Messenger or through Slack or through email? And you also have to make sure that you know what are your non-negotiables. When you hire a VA, you have to prepare questions that will determine whether the VA is the right fit for you. So you need to have questions that are going to assess their skills, and questions that are going to assess their soft skills. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person who values character the most than skills. So I have a lot of questions pertaining to my core values in order for me to determine if the person I'm interviewing is the right fit for me or not.
So for something that I've done is I've hired all of my virtual assistants on Upwork. And what I've done in the past is there's been a job that's been like something pretty regimented in my business that I hate doing. So for example, we have a site called Catch My Party. Every day we swap out our featured parties. It's a pretty mechanical job. You do this, you go here, you do this, you switch this, you take this link and put it here, and then you send me this email, blah, blah, blah. And what I did, I hated doing it. So what I said is, I could create a video where I go through the process and I videotape me doing it. And I go, okay, you grab this link here, you go here, you do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's very concrete. And then I found people that I put the job out and said, this is what it is. And I think I don't remember how much time I thought it would take, but I timed myself doing it. And of course I know how to do it. So I'm faster, and you put that into the calculation. Anyway, and then I asked for people to apply to this job. And then people did. And I interviewed them, I think via like Zoom, and talked to them so I could have a face-to-face. And I said, here, I'm going to send you this video so that you can see what the task is. And then what I did was if I liked them, I said, I'm going to hire you for 2 weeks. And what I want you to do in that 2-week time, whenever you have a question, reach out to me. I'm completely available because I want you to be successful. And I'm sure you want to be successful. So do not be intimidated or afraid or think, oh no, like the video is here. And I really, really made sure that my directions were incredibly clear. But I was like, no, like, I'm not going to, please, I'm available. And then I said, in 2 weeks, what we'll do is we'll both evaluate. Is this working for you? And is this working for me? And if it's good for both of us, then we'll continue. And that was super great because I had this escape valve. And there've been some people that I've hired that I've said, you know what, it's not quite working out because let's say she was late, or let's say the links were wrong, or she hadn't fully studied the video. And that has been and then if I feel this connection with this person working for me, I will say, hey, do you have more time? Because I have this other concrete task that I would love you to do. And then I make the video, we go through the same thing, we see how it works. And I, like you were saying, you look for their values. I do too, but I would say it's more like I see how we work together. And if it's a good fit, then I'm looking for more tasks in my business that I can offload to this person. Like I want to invest in the person. I don't want to invest in the task, but I want to use the task as a way to make it very concrete. We understand the boundaries versus I just need help. I'm going to hire a VA. I don't know what they're going to do for me. And then it's going to be kind of weird and soft and mushy. And then I don't necessarily think it's a great fit, but now I feel weird letting her go because it's not like she did anything wrong, but it's just like, oh, too much. So tell me what you think of that strategy.
I love that. We kind of do the same, we have a probationary period where we test out our VAs and we talk to them, and we communicate with them clearly that, hey, for this certain period of time, this is your probationary period, and then we'll evaluate your performance. But what we do is we meet with them on a weekly basis. Our project leaders who handles our VAs, they meet with them on a weekly basis to see where they are at and how they are performing and if the clients are happy. And then on a monthly basis, we have a monthly performance review. So we have a scorecard for each of our VA. And I think this is a good idea, for business owners to have, even if you're just hiring a part-time independent contractor, because then you will be able to evaluate on a monthly basis if your VA is providing results for you. And by the time you have to let go of your VA because you have your monthly performance review and you've given your VA feedback, your VA is not going to be surprised that you're letting her or him go, because you have given him feedback and the VA knows that, oh, my scorecard last month was below 70% and it's not a passing rate. And so you wouldn't have a hard time letting go of your VA, and you will not feel guilty because you have
this objectively measure. Yeah.
I like and that. You're not subjective to letting them go. You're not just basing your decision on firing them on what you feel towards them, right? Because that's very hard, and that's, I think, most of the time why we feel so guilty, because we're unsure of our feelings. But if you have these set parameters or competencies to measure your VA's performance, then it's going to be easy for you and it's easy for your VA. Heck, you might not even have to let go of your VA. Your VA might even say to you, hey, I think I'm not providing result, I'm resigning,
Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay. So if you have this objective measure, it is much easier, because that's always awkward and it feels uncomfortable and it feels personal and it feels like, oh, could I have done more? And somehow you don't want the ickiness. So I like that idea of like, nope, you know what? Look, this month, here's what you did great and here's what you didn't. And this is not okay. And so we're going to just part ways. That's why I do that 2-week window and give that person the same, they can decide, I don't like working with you, and leave. And then it's like clean. I just want it to be clean.
Yeah. And it's not like what you said, it's not personal, if they're going to leave you because it's not the right fit for them, that doesn't mean that you're a bad boss or you're a bad business owner. You have to know that we're not for everybody. We're not for everyone, we just gotta find that person who's the right fit to work for us.
Now, what about if in my business, I do things in a certain way and my VA does them slightly differently? How do I think about letting go of control?
That's a good question. And that's very hard, to do, letting go of control, because there's just so many things that go into that. You're letting go of control, not just because you're afraid of letting go of control, that may be rooted into, something else. Are you afraid of letting go because you feel like you're the only one who can do all the things in your business? You're afraid that your VA might not be able to do it the same way as you do. But in this question, you said that the VA is not, is different, has a different approach to what you're doing. And I think for me that's okay. If you have if your approach is highway A and your VA's approach is highway B, if you're getting into, if you're going to the right direction, and if you're going to be at the same place, at the end of it, then it's okay if the VA and you, the business owner, has different approaches to doing things, and that's very normal. The way how I do my podcast is different than how you do your podcast, Jillian, right? So we do things differently because we are unique individuals. But letting go of control is easy when you know what you want, and if you have a vision for your business to grow, and if you can get past your control freak nature or whatever, you know that there are a lot of benefits that can happen, or a lot of good things that can happen in your business as compared to keeping control in your business. And that's totally understandable that most of us may find it hard to let go of control, because our business is our baby, right? So just think about it. We were talking about having kids. If you have a baby and you find a nanny, you want to make sure that you know that nanny, right? Because your baby is so precious to you, and you don't want you don't want anything bad to happen to your baby. So that's the same way with our business. We don't want other people to touch our business. But I think what I've learned recently is that we're afraid to let go of control because we don't really know the person that we are delegating to. We don't trust them. But if you learn how to trust your people, your VA, then it will be easy for you to delegate. And trust is not something that can happen overnight. You have to build a relationship with your VA. You need to make sure that you get to know your VA, and you let your VA get to know you. It's not like a higher call. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's not like it's not like a hierarchical relationship where you're the boss and the employee doesn't have the right to talk to the boss because the boss is so busy. It's not like that. We're not in that world anymore. We are now in a world where we partner with our team members, and we see them equal. We are equal to them, and we're not high human beings than them,
like
if
a
that makes
hierarchy.
sense.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is really good. And I like the idea of the nanny. And it's funny because I know when my daughter was little, I hired a babysitter for her, and my babysitter wouldn't do things exactly like I did. I mean, I had certain parameters of like, you can go through, go to this park instead of this park, or feed her this snack and those things. And she would, of course, follow those. But otherwise, like, they would go and do stuff that I wouldn't do. Like, I didn't like parks that much. And so, but she would take her to the park and play with her in the sand and all this stuff. And so my daughter got this like bigger experience by me trusting my babysitter, but she wasn't me. And I think that there's value in that. Other people working in your business might have new insights for you, will free up time for you, and done is better than perfect. Literally always in an online business. I teach this concept called B- work, which is, please don't shoot for A+ work. It's impossible. So if this VA is getting the job done, celebrate that, because you have more time to work on the more important parts of your business.
I am the type of person who values the result more than how it should be done. I value the quality of the result. I don't really care if I'm going to New York, and if I want to take if I want to fly to New York and my VA want to take the bus, I don't really care, as long as we meet at in New York at 11 a.m. I think I feel like I'm just not. I feel like it's the reason why I don't really care, because I always ask myself, is it a hill to die on?
Right. Well, I guess the thing is, let's say it's a design and you would have done the design slightly differently than they do, and they hand it to you and you go, ooh, is this the design the way that I would have done it? Maybe not, but is it bad, or is it good enough to move my business forward? I mean, I feel like we get stuck in these ways of doing things.
Design is very subjective too. For young people, they like clean minimalist. for most people who are like older, they love colors and different elements, I think for me, I don't really care how it looks like, just as long as they follow my brand colors, and just as long as there is no typo in the graphic, and just as long as it's still representing my company.
Right.
If I want the
Right.
logo on the at the right upper corner of the graphic, and they put it below on the lower left corner, like, I don't care.
Okay.
It's just a logo, it's not gonna ruin my
Exactly.
business, right?
Exactly. Well, that's what I would say is like, think to yourself, is this a hill I'm going to die on? Is it
Yeah.
okay if the logo's in a place that I wouldn't have put it, but yet step back and go, is this going to make or break my business? Is this such a big deal? Or is this good enough? And I can be cool with that. And I can
Yeah,
then
don't
use that time in other more productive ways than getting bent out
right.
of shape where my logo is.
Exactly. Don't major on the minor things, And there's a lot of things we need to take care of in the business, getting new leads, instead of using your brain cells on, on a small thing that you are blowing out of proportion, don't do that. Spend your brain cells on something that is, revenue generating to your business.
I love that. I love that. All right, Kristy, if people want to learn more about what you offer, how to get in touch with you, like all that stuff, where should they go?
Well, I have a website, and if you go to my website, you can check out the link to my podcast and also my virtual assistant agency. And I have a lot of free, free stuff in there too. So if you want to check it out, just go to KristyYoder.com, KristyYoder.com, and I have my social media accounts in there too. So please, check out my Instagram. I love connecting with people. Like I told you, I'm a very extroverted person. So I love talking to entrepreneurs. So please reach out to me on Instagram. Don't be shy if you have any questions about delegation.
I love that. Well, Kristy, I have to say thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome, Jillian.
I hope you guys like this episode. I am really impressed with the business that Kristy is building and the service she is providing for bloggers and creators everywhere. Honestly, I don't know how I could be right here where I am right now if it weren't for my team of VAs. They're all over the world. I love them all, and I recommend you think about outsourcing some of the tasks that keep you up at night that you dislike, because by doing that, it will keep you in the game. And then you can focus on the more important tasks that actually grow your bottom line. Before I go, I want to offer this to everybody. If you want to get on a 15-minute call with me to tell me about your business and what kind of digital products you hope to create, I can tell you if I think MiloTreeCart is a good fit. So to sign up for a 15-minute slot, just go to MiloTree.com/meet, because I'd love to meet you. Again, MiloTree.com/meet. I hope you take me up on this offer, and I will see you here again next week.